Okay, everybody, guess who it is? It's David Traylor of the Traylor Law Firm. Hello, and welcome to this video. Today, I'm on the road in Collin County to go to a municipal court that I don't think in my entire career I have ever gone to. It's Farmersville Municipal Court. And so I am hoping to see some actual farmers with hay in their mouths and overalls. And apparently it's a village of these people, and maybe I'll spot some. My grandfather was a farmer all his life. Great guy. So maybe I'll see some folks like him. Very, very sharp individual. Funny. Had a 3rd grade education because in 4th grade he had to get out of school and go help bring in the crops. And from every year thereon, he was working the farm instead of going to school. So he learned from what they call the School of Hard Knocks. So going to Farmersville, I'm hoping it'll be rural paradise of farmland and farmers and feed stores and that sort of thing. But it may be an urban paradise with all the expansion we've had in Collin County. And they may have coffee shops selling lattes, frappes, mochachinos, and a bunch of farmers guzzling that stuff down. We'll see when I get out there. I'll be out there in about 30 minutes, and I'll sprint out of my car into the municipal court and seek justice on behalf of my client. It's just a speeding ticket. I don't think they've got Zoom available on this, or I would have been doing that. But, you know, if I happen to miss that opportunity, I don't mind going out here, seeing a new place. It's a little bit zen going out here with the traffic not all gnarled up. There was an accident back there that caused me to have to slow down for about 5 minutes, but that wasn't a problem. But the good thing about having a traffic accident is once you clear it, it's smooth sailing. So there's always a silver lining to a dark cloud. I'm very happy that I've got a lot of interesting cases in the office right now. Handling cases on behalf of people who are accused of criminal violations is kind of like solving puzzles. Every once in a while, my wife will bring me a necklace to untangle, and boy, if you've never done that, necklaces can get really tangled. And the worst ones are the ones that have like 3 or 4 chains stemming from one, and then they've got all these bangles and all these things hanging off those individual chains. Those things can get so messed up and tangled up, and it's really difficult, especially if there's another necklace intertwined somehow, and maybe an earring or two. It can be really difficult to untangle those things. And some of them are very small, and it just takes a little bit of determination. It's kind of fun. She knows I like doing it, so she'll bring them to me and say, hey, I need this untangled, and she's got to wear it like right away, so the clock's ticking. Well, criminal cases are like that. A lot of things are like that. I think there's a lot of scientific work that could be like that, where you're just basically solving complicated puzzles. And if you enjoy solving puzzles, you can find that kind of satisfaction in your work in a lot of different ways. So, you know, consider that if you're that kind of person. But yeah, I like solving puzzles on behalf of my clients and trying to get them out of a situation that they've, some pickle that they've gotten themselves in, get it untangled, resolved, so that they can get back to their lives, look to their future instead of their past, and enjoy this wonderful world we live in and the full opportunities that it offers. God, I gotta make sure I'm going the right way here. This map is very small. All right, looks like I'm still good. Oh yeah, I'm going to 380. So, yeah, this kind of work can be very satisfying in that regard. Right now, I can tell you generalities about particular cases as long as I don't get into specifics that would allow you to find out who I'm talking about. Maybe the generalities are enough where the actual person would recognize themselves in the story, but no one else can. That's fine. So I've got some guy that just got hired on that got in a tussle with some security guards, and this particular case is one of the, there's something going on in this case that I really enjoy when it happens, and that is when you hear somebody's story and you think, no, they're full of crap. That's a lie. There's no way that can be true. I've heard it all before, and I've heard this before, and your client's lying. That happened to me just a couple weeks ago on a probation violation, where the client's story just seemed like bullshit. And we were able to come back and show them, no, in fact, he's telling the truth. And the great thing about that is when they have an incredible story that's not believable, and then you find out that it's true, well, that boosts their credibility way up, so that maybe you're going to believe the rest of the stuff that they're saying, you know? I don't know, if you go to here's another one that it's kind of like that. If you go to a place that has valet parking, you get out of your car and you're like, man, I'd love to tip you, but I just don't have any cash on me, but I'm going to come back and tip you. And they're like, oh, fine, yeah, sure, you're never going to come back, I'll never see you again. But if you actually go back and you give them a tip, it's like, wow, this guy's like up here in my estimation now. That's kind of a rare thing. You don't expect anybody to do that. So it's similar to that, you know, if you can kind of create credibility where before there was disbelief, that's kind of a cool thing. So, yeah, I've got a situation like that where you wouldn't believe that this client was being honest about why he was at the place he was at. You might think that, nah, he was up to no good. That story sounds like crap. But then we actually show, look, he really was there for a non-corrupt reason. Kind of a PG reason, not an X, like not an X or rated exit reason, a PG-13 reason, or just a PG or a G reason. If you know the movie ratings, I don't even know if they still use those very much anymore. But at any rate, I was telling someone just yesterday, they were asking what I do for a living, and I was kind of telling them a little bit about it, and I was telling them how satisfying it is to help people, and then I kept, you know, when I started getting heavily into this criminal stuff, I was realizing that I was getting all these really cool cases, and I was wondering when this lucky streak of great clients was going to end. And when I started to realize was that it's not ending. And I think the reason it's not ending is because whenever I get a client, I try really hard to look for the things that are good about them, their situations, and their cases, and just everything, anything and everything, so I can find a way to unravel their situation for them. And it seems like I'm always able to find something, and that's really rewarding. But the other thing I think about that is you don't find that stuff unless you're looking for it. You're not going to find solutions unless you're looking for those solutions. You might happen upon something, just stumble over it, or it might be thrown in your lap, but usually you got to look for that stuff. And if you're not looking hard everywhere, you're going to miss a lot. It's really easy to take a criminal case on and go down and get an offer and take the first offer, or bargain them down a little bit and take that. It's really easy to do plea bargain law. Some lawyers, that's all they do. Some court-appointed lawyers, that's all they do. They just take a deal and get it moved, and that's it. No scrutiny, no looking over the discovery, no making sure that the state can prove the case. None of that. It's just make a deal and move on. And boy, what a disservice to the client. So the streak of good clients just doesn't seem to be coming to an end. It's just like they just keep coming, and I don't know. I think the only difference between me and what a lot of other lawyers do is I don't do any court appointments. I don't do I do have some people in jail, but most of my clients are out on bond, and most of the people that I tend to deal with didn't wake up in the morning intending to be criminals. They didn't have a criminal plan, a motive. They're intending to be law-abiding citizens, and yet somehow at the end of the day they get caught up in some criminal violation or accusation of one, and they go to jail, and then it's my job to help them extricate themselves from that situation. So that's a big part of why my clients are so rewarding to work for. Is they're not your stereotypical idea of what a criminal is. They're really not intending to be criminals. And, you know, they might have some background. And most people that I work with, it's their first time through the system, but some of them have prior cases. But it's like a weed possession or a DWI or maybe an assault or something that kind of similar, where they didn't really intend to be with weed possession, you can say that you intended to violate the law. You were smoking, you knew it was illegal. But with the other stuff, it's kind of stuff that just, like a domestic violence assault, that's one of those. Yes, it's a criminal action, and it can be pretty bad, but it's not one you wake up in the morning thinking you're going to get. You don't think, oh, today I'm going to assault my wife. It's just you get into a bad argument and it escalates enough that things end up happening, and before you know it, you've pushed or pulled or scratched or kicked or worse, and you're going to jail on it. So anyway, just I guess the bottom line is I really like what I'm doing, and I enjoy helping people. It's only a free country if you're not in jail. So if you get arrested, searched, seized, questioned, suspected, if you feel like you're being followed, I've got people who call me and say, hey man, everywhere I go there's 40 people watching me. That's getting pretty paranoid, but I always try to take that seriously and kind of walk them through what the possibilities are so they can kind of see for themselves that maybe that's not the case. It doesn't make a lot of sense for an agency to put 40 people on someone who's really not doing much illegal anyway. Even if you're doing some illegal stuff, you're probably not doing enough to have 40 people after you. So if you got anything going on, you got court dates, you're out on bond, you've got pending court cases, you're investigated, or you got detectives wanting to question you, just call and we'll see what we can do to help you sort through it. It's just more puzzles we can help with. Everybody take care, have a good week, good weekend, good year, all that. Good New Year.